Well, hello and welcome to today's video. And before I forget it, I'd like for you to hit that like button, strike hard upon the subscribe button, gently ring the notification bell, and leave a comment if you don't mind. I'm not in this for money, just for likes and subscribes. The first video that we made now has over 100 views, and we're approaching 20 subscribers. So just have to hang on to see what we can get into when we get to 1,000,000. Enough of that. Now let's move on to the video. A quick recap of last week's video covered the first 3 generations of the Hubbard family, all of them named John, who lived and died in Monks, Ely, England, which is, we learned, about 80 miles from London. Not London, Kentucky, but London, England, and about 4,000 miles from Manchester. So that was what we covered pretty much last week. Originally this week was going to be to discuss the next couple of generations of Hubbards, but my brother Tim brought some new information to my knowledge that I was unaware of. And I thought it was of such significance that it needed to be in this week's video. And actually probably should have been the second video we made, but I didn't know it at the time. And so we'll make it today, then next week go back to our regular schedule. You might recall in the first video I discussed that we had been told that we had Viking blood. And I've got on the screen now, here's the DNA results I got from Ancestry.com, and it does indeed show that we have DNA from the Scandinavian region, Denmark, and Sweden, Norway, and so forth. In fact, about 17% of my DNA shows to be from the Scandinavian area, so that's a pretty significant amount. So this week we're going to go a different direction. Not only does it turn out we are descended from Vikings, but it was actually from a Viking king. This actually, he is part of the History Channel's series on the Vikings, which you can see at various locations. But according to what I've been able to dig up, we go back all the way, I can trace back now into the late 700s, early 800s, from Ragnar Lodbrok, or however you want to say his last name, who became the leader of the Vikings, king of the Vikings, in 814, give or take a few years. His ancestors, and therefore our ancestors, can be traced all over Scandinavian region and through the Visigoths back to some Roman emperors. Then many of these ancestors had some kind of kingship or a throne they sat on. Ragnar invaded England in about 865, and what happened, he was going to bring a pretty large force, but the way things turned out, some of them got delayed and so forth, and he actually only landed with him and one other boat, and they decided to just go ahead and do the Viking thing and pillage the countryside. Well, he got captured, and in order to try to find out what plans the Vikings had, they tortured him and threw him in a pit of poisonous snakes, which, as you can imagine, did not turn out well for Mr. Ragnar here. His last words were supposed to be something of the order of, the piglings would be grunting if they knew the plight of their boar. And indeed, his 3 sons, Hubba, Hinga, and Halfdan, united their forces and attacked with great fury and vengeance, taking the king of England prisoner, and they performed a terrible punishment on him. I'll not go into it. You can probably, like I say, do a little research or watch the Vikings show there, but it was pretty awful. His son Hinga, or Hingwa, was also known as Ivar the Boneless. So, interesting family. Hubba was his youngest youngest son. So you know, you can watch that, and like I say, I believe Ragnar is in the first season, and the sons Hubba and Ivar, the boneless, and Half Dan are Half Dan was known as Half Dan White Shirt, are in seasons 4 through 6. I have not seen it. See if I plan to watch it pretty soon. I just, you know, just found out about all this the last few days. Well, according to English historians and genealogists, people with the last name of Hobart or or Hubbard were descended from Hubba, the fourth son of Ragnar. Our ancestor John was one of the names mentioned in their studies, so he looks like, pretty sure, we were descended from Hubba, the fourth son of Ragnar. It turns out the banner of this group of Vikings, their good luck uh, banner, was a raven, and they actually called Ragnar the Raven. And hopefully by next week we will actually have pinned down. I know I've been saying this for a month. We will have pinned down the actual coat of arms, coming back all the way back to the 800s and Ragnar the Raven. A lot of information I got from this book. Oops. It's called the Hubbard, the 1,000 years of Hubbard history from 866 to 1865. We'll get more into it as we go down through the generations, but for now, I'm going to introduce this week's sponsor, and if you want to watch this short clip.
Hello, we are proud to sponsor this week's video on the Hubbard family. As suppliers of oxygen, we bring you life. You can see for yourself some of our satisfied users. Don't be fooled by those nitrogen folks. It's oxygen, or well, you get the picture.
Okay. Well, I'm excited about this week's video, and may do another one later on when we kind of have gone through the generations here to get more in depth into this fascinating story of the Viking king Ragnar, the Raven, and his family. And next week, you know, we'll get back to our regular schedule, which will start after the 3 John Hobards or Hubbards of amongst Ely, England. So we'll get back on that and hope to unveil some more exciting information about the Hubbard family of Clay County. And until then, stay Hubbard and peace out. Thanks.